What would you do if a foreign empire stole your king and then demanded the very soul of your nation? In 1900, the Ashanti people of West Africa faced this very question. Their king had been exiled, their dignity trampled, and now the British wanted the Golden Stool, an object so sacred it held the spirit of the entire Ashanti civilization. When the chiefs hesitated, one voice rose above them all. A 60-year-old grandmother, a farmer, a queen mother. Her name was Yaa Asantewaa, and she would go to war to defend the soul of her people. To understand Yaa Asantewaa's rebellion, we have to start with what she was fighting for. This wasn't just land. It wasn't even about gold. It was about something more powerful. The Golden Stool, a throne so sacred it was said to hold the sunsum or spirit of the entire Ashanti nation, the living, the dead, and the unborn. Legend says the stool descended from the heavens in a cloud of white dust, summoned by the priest Okomfo Anokye. It landed on the lap of the first Ashanti king, Osei Tutu, in the late 1600s. Made entirely of gold, just 18 inches tall, no one sat on it, not even the king. It was never allowed to touch the ground. Instead, kings were raised over it to show that they ruled by serving the spirit of the people, not by dominating them. It was the soul of Ashanti unity and power. And for 2 centuries, the Ashanti protected it with their lives. If you believe these stories deserve to be remembered, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Silent Dynasties, and share it with someone who should know. Because history isn't just what happened, it's what we choose to remember. By the 1800s, the Ashanti Empire had become a regional powerhouse, a kingdom built on trade, military might, and a rich matrilineal culture where women played a vital political role. The Queen Mother, or Ohima, wasn't just ceremonial, she helped choose kings and preserve tradition. But Britain had its eyes on the Ashanti's resources, especially their gold, and so began a series of violent clashes known as the Anglo-Ashanti Wars. The British wanted domination. The Ashanti wanted survival. In 1896, the British marched into Kumasi, the Ashanti capital. They captured King Prempeh I and exiled him to the Seychelles along with his court and his grandmother, Yaa Asantewaa. The British assumed the fight was over. They thought they had crushed the spirit of the Ashanti. They were wrong. In 1900, Governor Frederick Hodgson made a critical mistake. He summoned the Ashanti chiefs to a meeting in Kumasi, not to negotiate, but to demand the Golden Stool. With breathtaking arrogance, he asked, "Why am I not sitting on the Golden Stool? I represent the British crown. The stool should be here under me." To the British, this was a logical request. To the Ashanti, it was blasphemy. The chiefs left in silence, their fury burning beneath bowed heads. This wasn't just an insult, it was a declaration of spiritual war. Soon after, the remaining Ashanti leaders met to discuss their response, but many were too afraid to act. Some even considered revealing the stool's location to avoid more bloodshed. That's when Yaa Asantewaa stood up. She was in her 60s, a widow, a farmer, and the Queen Mother of Ajisu. What she said next changed history. Is it true that the bravery of Asante is no more? If you, the men, will not fight, then we, the women, will. I shall call upon my fellow women, and we shall fight till the last of us falls on the battlefield. Her words lit a fire. Chiefs who had been too scared to act now rose with resolve. The Asante knew they couldn't surrender their soul. They named Yaa Asantewaa Commander-in-Chief of the Asante Army, the only woman to ever hold that role. If you're finding strength in this story, don't let it be forgotten. Hit that like button, subscribe, and comment, never bow. if you believe in honoring leaders who stood when others sat. Under Yaa Asantewaa's command, the Asante launched a surprise offensive. Her army of thousands, armed with spears, muskets, and unmatched courage, laid siege to the British fort in Kumasi, where Governor Hodgson and his men were holed up. For months, they trapped the British, cutting off their supply lines and pounding them with psychological warfare. Drums echoed through the forests, signaling unity and defiance. The British were shocked by the strength and strategy of this grandmother-turned-general. But eventually, the empire struck back. A massive force of 1,400 well-armed soldiers arrived, equipped with machine guns and artillery. The tide began to turn. The Asante fought fiercely, but their weapons were no match for industrial firepower. By 1901, Yaa Asantewaa and her top commanders were captured and exiled to the Seychelles. The rebellion had ended. Yaa Asantewaa died in exile in 1921, far from the land she fought to protect. But the British never found the Golden Stool. In 1920, workers stumbled upon it, untouched and hidden. The British, recognizing their mistake, formally gave up any claim to it. Yaa Asantewaa had saved the soul of her people. Her courage echoed across Africa. She proved that a woman, even in her 60s, could defy empire and ignite a movement. She inspired Ghana's future revolutionaries, including Kwame Nkrumah, and became a symbol of African resistance and female power. Today, schools, monuments, and festivals honor her name. Because when the kingdom needed a hero, a grandmother stood up, and an empire trembled. In the end, Yaa Asantewaa did not live to see her homeland free. She died in exile, far from the soil she once vowed to defend. But her spirit never left the Asante. It lived on in every drumbeat, every chant, every generation that refused to kneel. They came for her king, they came for her culture, they came for her soul, but they left empty-handed, because one woman stood between empire and identity and did not flinch. Yaa Asantewaa is more than a name in a textbook. She is proof that resistance does not require an army, only the will to stand when no one else will. We tell her story not as a relic of the past, but as a mirror to the present, because somewhere today, another soul is standing her ground. If Yaa Asantewaa's courage moved you, help us keep stories like hers alive. Like, share, and subscribe to Silent Dynasties. Drop a comment with the name of an unsung hero you'd like us to feature. History isn't just dates and empires, it's people who refuse to bow. Silent Dynasties. When history speaks, we listen.